Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Samp&Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, and joined with me, as always, is my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you today, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, enjoying the weather. How about you?
Yeah, it's finally starting to turn around. A little chilly in the morning, but I guess that's okay. But by the mid-afternoon, it's kind of, I wish I didn't wear pants weather.
Oh man, and tomorrow's gonna even be better, so I'm looking forward to that. So
Yeah, no, it's finally starting to click in, so it's kind of cool. Uh, Wrestling, man, a lot of stuff happened this weekend. AEW had their show. Oh, hey, you know what? Before I start anything, I gotta remind our listeners to like and subscribe to the podcast, man. Um, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on YouTube. So no matter where you guys want to get your content from, you can
TikTok.
find us. Yeah, we just signed up for TikTok. I have no idea what TikTok does or how it works per se. I mean, I get the general idea, Chance, but I mean, in
Yeah,
terms of navigating it and understanding it, I've been kind of looking at some of these things now and kind of trying to understand how it all goes. But guys, like and subscribe. I guess the bottom line is we need you guys to like and subscribe what we do so we can keep going here
and
and keep
share it.
and share. Absolutely. That's another part of this. So like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment, as they always say. Um,
Absolutely.
Comments are awesome for us as well, so don't be shy to share what you really think. We want to make it better. So if there's something you feel that we can be doing better, please tell us so we can
Absolutely.
get it going and go in the right direction. I mean, the show's for the fans. I mean, we do what we think is right, but if we don't hear from the fans, we don't know, and we're
Absolutely.
going to
They're big
carry
boys. We
on.
can take criticism.
Pardon?
We're big boys. We can handle the criticism if that's what they want to write.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Look, we go back
Positive.
and forth. Dude, we go back and forth with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even before this started, we were having a conversation about things on how we can be better to each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes us really work really well. And, that brotherhood is there, that we can say stuff to each other without not making the other person feel like they're being um, devalued or, criticized in a bad way. Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, that being said, if Chance and I can say what needs to be said to each other, I'm sure we can take it from you guys as well. So please let us know what you guys think, how we can be better. That's all we're asking. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. You know, I don't know. I don't know how much more I
The
can say.
subscriber count's going up. Every couple of days we get a couple extra followers. You notice that?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's absolutely, and a lot of it has to do with us kind of grinding the pavement as well, just kind of
Yeah.
getting out there, handing out the cards, letting people know who we are. So if you see us and you see us coming towards you and you see a yellow card in our hand, you know it's us. So guys, girls, grandma, grandpas, husbands and wives, children of all ages, like and subscribe, share, tell all your friends. Snap and Chance are on the scene. All right.
Absolutely.
So that being said, AEW had Double or Nothing. Is it the third or the fourth edition now?
I'm not
Well,
positive on that, to be honest with you.
okay. I think 2019, 2020, 21. Yeah, so this is
Third.
probably the fourth now. Third or fourth, say, okay.
And this is one of
Uh
their big tours, right? This is like their SummerSlam, their WrestleMania. This is one of their big shows.
yeah, this is one of their two big shows. They got Double or Nothing and All In, right?
Yeah, All In, and there's another one too.
They're all casino based type of.
Yeah, yeah, they got that casino. That's why it's cool that they had it in Vegas, right?
Well, I believe this pay-per-view Double or Nothing is going to be in Vegas every year now.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's kind of its home now. They've kind of figured it out. But yeah, they sold out the T-Mobile Arena. Crowd was fire, man. I gotta be honest, first and
Yeah,
foremost, this fucking show was 5.5, almost 6 hours long if you throw in the pre-show.
it's a long show, man.
It was a long
Ooh,
show, very long show. Um, Overall, though, it was really good. I gotta give credit where credit is due.
it
It's
was
not
good.
sports entertainment. It was wrestling. It was pro wrestling. So that's what you got. You got wrestling. The show started off with Wardlow versus MJF. Uh, the story finally coming to a conclusion. This thing's been going on for months and months and months. Wardlow was the hired help from MJF. So the story goes that he never actually worked for AEW. He was actually working under contract for MJF.
Yeah.
So he kind of held them to that. And when he kind of turned against them against Punk, at the end there, they really made his life hell. He was trying to get out of it. And in typical MJF style, he basically ran it as, okay, well, you have to do this, or you have to have this match, and you got to do this, and then I'll give you a match. And he went through all the hoops and everything, right up to getting 10 lashes. I think that's like an MJF trademark now, getting lashes, eh? He did it to Cody as
Yes.
well. Like, it's kind of his thing. Um,
Speaking of MJF, they're saying that there's some trouble backstage that he took off right after the match and that he might be jumping ship when his contract's up.
well, I mean, he's got a long time left in his contract. I don't know how much of this is a
I'm not
work, to
sure
be
how much
honest,
left.
right? Well, he's got a year left. I mean, he's not going to be free till January 2024,
Okay.
right? He's still got a year and a half to go on this current, contract with them.
He's made
But
comments before that he wants to go to WWE one day, so I could see after this is over, his contract, I could see him going to the big dance.
we can all see him doing that, absolutely. But I mean, if he's doing what he's doing now and it's not a work and it's legit heat from both sides, I don't know if Vince wants that.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's hard to say. You never know in wrestling what's real and what's not.
Right? It's just so much is so blurred now. Storylines are so blurred. I mean, you look at Becky and Charlotte, for example. When they had to switch titles and give each other the titles, there was legitimate heat there. It wasn't a
Yeah.
work that they were pissed off at each other or angry at each other. So, it's hard to call it at this point. So basically what happened was MJF was supposed to do an autograph signing that he was
Okay.
supposed to go do. He never showed up for it.
That's not right.
That's a Saturday. But that
Super
being said, is
unprofessional.
it a work or is it, again, was it a work or was it real? I don't know. So then there was word that, oh, is he going to show up for the pay-per-view? Right. And if you look at the match, it was really one-sided. I
Yeah.
mean, literally one-sided. The guy ate 10 power bombs in a row.
He
Right.
got
He barely,
dominated, that's for sure.
he had no offense at all. Very un-MJF like,
Yeah.
So having that happen and whatnot, so you basically wonder, how much of this was a work or was it legit or what have you.
If it's a
Uh,
work, it's a hell of a work.
it's a great work. It's a great work if they're able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But then again, it might piss a lot of people off if it is a work,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
The stuff like that, when they don't show up for autograph signings, to me, that makes me kind of think like it's a work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then again, if he didn't show up, yeah, but then you're alienating a whole bunch of fans who came to see him as well,
That's
like
not
you were
right.
saying,
Got all the kids, excited to
right?
see you.
Work or no work, you can't do that part. I mean, there has to be other ways of making it a work without alienating your fans, especially
Absolutely.
people who show up there and to go for those things. Match number 2 was Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys against the Young Bucks. These guys did tangle a couple times before the Hardys did come back to the WWE. In fact, I believe they lost the tag team titles they were holding at the time the night before to the Young Bucks before WrestleMania.
Oh, they
Which
did?
opened yeah. So I believe so. Anyways, I know they lost the title. They had a match the night before WrestleMania on one of the other cards, a Ring of Honor card or something like that they were
Okay.
finishing up with, and they lost the titles there. This was pretty good, man.
That's
It was a
good.
really good match. A lot of mocking of each other, like more so on the Young Bucks side. And Jeff Hardy doing his daredevil spots and whatnot. There's this one spot where he jumped off the ladder onto a stack of chairs. I believe it was in this match. Pretty straightforward match for these guys. Hard hitting, very acrobatic, a lot of high spots. Your typical Hardy's match and Young Bucks match, right?
It was the match the crowd wanted to see and they gave the fans wanted, so you got to give AEW credit for that.
No, I mean a lot of these matches that they did, were what they basically went. So yeah, so Jeff Hardy defeats Nick Jackson via the Swanton Bomb. He finally got him. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. And probably one of the matches that was probably crappy was the next one. Jade Cargill against Anna Jay for the TNT women's title. Straight
Yeah.
up squash. I don't know what else I can say about it. It wasn't much. It wasn't much there. Uh,
They were
I-
saying, thanks for bringing that up. So they were saying that the reason why this show was so long and kind of the middle of the AEW card was kind of stalled and dragged out with matches like that was because NBA playoffs game 7 Celtics and the Heat were on. And they're waiting for that to finish to get their big matches on the back end out.
Right. Well, they gave it time. I mean, they gave the first 2 matches good time, but I mean, I think, taking that into consideration as well, but the card was just long.
Well, think about this, dude. If you're on the East Coast and you're in New York, this card starts at 8 o'clock at night. This isn't done till 2 in the morning. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
On
I
a Sunday
mean,
night. Not
it's
that's
with all due respect to our fans and listeners in the East Coast, it sucks to be them, man. This is why I love
Yeah.
this is why I love the West Coast.
Yeah, dude. Everything's
Right?
at 5.
Everything starts at 5. I mean, Super Bowl ends at 7. You can still go out if you want to, where everyone else in the East has to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, our pay-per-views end at 8 o'clock in the evening. We still have the evening ahead of us if we want to.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's the one bonus that we have. It's hard for me to kind of feel bad for them.
No, I hear you. It just sucks if you're in New York or Toronto.
And most times, outside of these pay-per-views per se, most things are catered to the people in the East as it is anyways.
Yes.
Right?
What if you got a kid, a 10-year-old kid? You can't keep him till 2 in the morning on school night to watch this damn pay-per-view that never is going to end. It's crazy.
It's a hard life being a kid, man. You know what? Hey, it's called paying your dues, bro. We had to go through it too.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And even worse for us because we didn't have replays and we didn't have YouTube and we didn't have all these things that we could go back and find it and stream it.
That's true.
If we didn't watch it that Sunday, I had to wait a month to go to the local video store. And we're not even talking Blockbusters here. We're talking, Delta Video or something like that, and wait for a month until that video showed up on their shelf.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And as a kid, you're trying not to watch wrestling now because you don't want to know who won. So you set yourself back a month of superstars and Maple Leaf Wrestling. That's what we watched as kids from the WWF back in the day. That was the case, man. In this match, I believe Athena came out. Athena was the former girl that was in WWE, Ember Moon.
Ember Moon, yes, that was really true.
So she comes out as Athena and kind of disrupts the match or whatever after the match and whatnot. The one thing I found disappointing about this is Anna Jay. You lost a match. It's a championship match you lost, but you don't seem perturbed by it at all. You're more happy to see Athena come out and you're cheering for her. Where's the disappointment in losing a match? It wasn't there. It's just little details I'm picking up on, right? In terms of character and whatnot, like, okay, it defeats the purpose of what we just saw for 7 minutes and 34 seconds.
Fair point.
Match number 3. I was kind of interested in this one. It was the Death Triangle versus the House of Black. This was really cool. This is basically Wyatt's faction, I guess you could say. What Wyatt would have done, what Bray would have done if he was in AEW. If Malachi Black could have run with this, or Aleister Black or Malachi Black, or whatever you want to call him now, could have run with this in the WWE, he would have had something really special there, I think. I think they cut him too short. They didn't give him more time.
Yeah, he's a hell of a worker.
He's great. And this match was great. So it was basically Rey Fenix and Pentagon and the Bastard Pack versus Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, and I don't recall the name of the new big guy that they have there.
I'm not sure offhand.
But yeah, these guys went back and forth and, just some really good spots. I mean, with Black as well, with his kicks and his background in the martial arts and whatnot, these guys were moving. And you can't expect any less from Pentagon and Rey Fenix as well. Those guys are just high flyers. Great skill, great moves all throughout the match. Finish came when Julia Hart, who I'm not too familiar with, came out to ringside and she joined the faction by spraying black mist into Pac's face as he was about to jump off the top rope. And Aleister was able to get the win from there. So that keeps Black strong. That keeps Pac strong because, it's not his fault that he lost, sort of a deal. But do you see the similarities between the House of Black and Judgment Day?
Very similar, man. I don't know if they don't even, are they feeding off each other? Are they taking each other's ideas and trying to make them better? I'm not sure what's going on here, but very similar.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. But I mean, they're building momentum. He's one guy who left WWE who's actually moving forward.
Yeah.
Um,
He's doing a damn good job too.
yeah, no, for sure. So the men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. How do you feel about AEW doing an Owen Hart tournament?
I
Come
mean,
on.
I don't care for it. I mean, just Tony Khan trying to, get some, I don't know what you want to call it, get some, steal some thunder from the WWE, I guess, use it. He's got Martha Hart there, guys. He got her permission.
But Martha's all about it. She's loving it. It's like she wants to slap WWE in the face so hard.
Yeah.
I understand everything. I get it all. But Owen needs to be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. His rightful place is in the WWE Hall of Fame,
Absolutely.
right? Yes, he fought in New Japan. Yes, he
Definitely.
fought in Stampede Wrestling. I think they're using his New Japan material to show highlights and things like that, because he was part of the junior heavyweight division there for a little bit as well. So, most of these guys have all fought in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So with AEW's affiliation with New Japan now and whatnot, they have access to that footage.
Yeah.
And so, I'm thinking it's based on that, but it's kind of hard. It makes me sad that WWE couldn't get this done. It really does.
He won't let them because he holds that grudge for what happened to him, right?
No, and I can't deny her that either. That's absolutely fine, right?
It was a fluke accident. I mean, Michaels has come down. McMahon's even went down. I mean, it just was
I get it,
horrible.
but he was the first one. And there were issues with the cables, I believe, and there were issues with some of the harnessing and the clamps, right? I don't know the exact details, but something wasn't right,
Yeah.
which caused him to fall, right? I mean, unfortunately, he had to fall, he had to die in order to make sure that they had a better system in place,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Well,
these
you
were
were saying
still,
he was going down that next day before. He was coming down on the harness and doing it right before Owen even did it. So I mean, it was a freak accident. It's very sad.
it's
To
very sad. It's very sad. But that being said, um, Martha, please, you know, release the grudge. Your husband needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole for the first Owen Hart tournament finals. Great match. I love watching these guys fight. I loved watching
Both are
them in.
great workers.
Yeah, I loved them in Ring of Honor. I loved them on the indie scenes whenever they did tangle. They never did connect in TNA, and they never really touched in WWE either. So it was nice to
No,
see these
no,
guys go. Cole won it. It keeps him strong. I think Joe's going to be more Ring of Honor side of AEW anyways. So I think the right guy won because Cole's going to be more of a mainstay on the main show.
yeah.
And Joe's going to be more of a Ring of Honor guy anyways, making, sporadic appearances here and there. I think anyways, I could be wrong. Um, you
When are they
know,
starting that Ring of Honor stuff? When are they going with that?
I don't have the exact dates, but I know that they've started some shows here and there. Some guys are champions, some guys are holding titles already. I think Joe's got a belt
Yeah.
from
I
Ring of
mean,
Honor there and whatnot.
it's not going to be much more than what it was before. I don't
I don't
think.
know. You know what? I mean, Joe kept telling Vince, buy it, buy their library. It was dirt cheap.
Yeah, but I mean, Ring of Honor is good. I'm not knocking it, but it's like, what are they going to do with it?
Well,
They're
I
going to
think
make an AEW show?
I think a lot of talent that was Ring of Honor is going to come back to that and
Yeah,
run
no, I
that
get
as a
that part.
separate promotion.
Yeah.
They're going to run it as a separate promotion like New Japan, like Impact, like
Mhm.
all the other ones that they're affiliated with. They're going to have their own promotions, but this one, I believe AEW has more control and direction over the product per se.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I like Ring of Honor. I enjoy it, but I mean, it was never big to begin with, and it's not going to be big this time, right? It's just going to be like their Sunday Night Heat. You know what I mean? They're going to have some good workers and good wrestlers. It's not going to be a top show like AEW, WWE. There's just no way.
I think it's going to fall in the realm of Impact. It's going to be a B show, obviously.
Yeah.
But again, it's. I think it all comes down to taste and flavors, man. What you like. You don't like onions. I love onions, right?
No, no, no. I get that, but I'm saying nobody's going to be watching it. They're not
Okay.
going to get a big number. That's what I mean. It's good, but it doesn't mean people are going to watch it.
I think the internet community will watch it, and that's basically most of Tony Khan's fan base.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as long as he's got those thousands and millions of fans on the internet, they'll be okay.
He's getting into a little bit of Twitter wars with some of his fans. You can't take that criticism. You never see Vince McMahon go and jawing back and forth with the fans. I don't. Vince even reads his Twitter, but you can see Tony. He's a very sensitive guy.
Yeah, well, he's heavily involved. I mean, he's not playing with his money. He's got his dad's money, right?
Yeah. I know he's a smart guy.
And considering Jacksonville is doing so poorly on every aspect of the field and off the field, you know, so I'm wondering if Daddy's going to cut the purse strings so he can build up his football team, right? Well, think about it. I'm just saying. I mean, you hired a coach who didn't even know who Darnold, the guy from the Rams. What's his name?
Aaron Donald.
Hey, thank you, Aaron Donald, right? He didn't even know who he was when they played him. He was going to his assistant coach. Hey, who's that guy? Like, come on, Urban. Come on, man.
I know. He denies he said that, but who knows, right?
Who knows, right? But I mean, we digress. The women's match was the second one for this Owen Hart Classic, Owen Hart Invitational. Britt Baker against Ruby Soho. Here's what's really cool about this, man. Rancid played out Soho. That was really good. That was really cool. I have to give it there. It kind of made me feel a little old to look at Rancid because they look.
I didn't even know Rancid was still around. I know those 3-4 songs they got, and after that, they just fell off the face of the earth.
Oh no, dude! Like I said, you know me. I'm not. You know, I don't have a huge American taste in music. Most of my music tastes are European based and primarily UK. So when an American band, you know, got into my ears and I let them stay there, you know, Rancid was one of them. Really enjoyed Rancid.
One album they had in '95, though their hits after that, I didn't know what happened to them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like their music in general. I mean, yeah, that one album they came out in '95 and '94 was really good. But for the most part, it kind of made me feel old to kind of look at these guys because they're all gray and stuff now. They're in their 50s. So it's like, okay.
Just they look like just a bunch of weirdo punk rockers you see in downtown hanging on the street or something and get that old, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, so
it was cool to see them do the entrance. That was cool.
It was really cool. Crowd loved it, and you got to pick them up. I think we're about 3 hours into the show now.
Yeah,
the actual pay-per-view portion. So probably 4 hours into the show at this point, and there's still a lot more to come. So these two kind of go back and forth again. Really good match. Good back and forth, playing off injuries, playing off the back injuries and whatnot. Finish comes at the end with Britt Baker finishing her off with a counter roll up of all things. That's how she won. You know, it wasn't a submission or anything. It was just a really simple counter roll up that she got, and she got the pin. I think she won because her boyfriend won.
That could be.
Well, think about it. Both of them had the same ring gear on. Both came out in pink.
Yeah,
right. So they had the matching gear. Everything was there. I mean, I'm not saying the wrong people won, but I think in this case, I think Soho should have. You know, I would have given the nod to Soho myself. She could have used more of the rub. Britt Baker is already a star in AEW. She is one of those individuals I feel that could come back to the WWE and get a huge pop. You know, coming in as well. That's my take on it. She's really worked hard, man. She's done really well for herself, right? To be fair, from when she was in the WWE, she's worked on her character. She's worked in her in-ring skills and whatnot. You know, I think she could come back to the WWE and actually make an impact, considering there might be an open spot or two now. So you know, right? She's done really well. So yeah, I'm not saying the wrong people lost, but I think it would have done better for Soho, who came in with a bang but hasn't really done much since.
Yeah.
You know, she's kind of floundered as most of the WWE expats, as I like to call them, have floundered.
No, you're right on 100% of the money on that one.
Outside of Alistair or Malachi Black, show me another WWE guy currently on the roster who's not affiliated with Alistair Black. Let's say that. That's actually making an impact in that company.
Well, if you count CM Punk and Jericho, I guess.
Well, I'm not going to count Punk only because he's been gone for so long. Jericho started the company. I'm talking more recent, right? Like when I asked this question, I'm referring to Rusev.
Well, I guess you could say Jeff Hardy. Matt Hardy's he can't really move, but I guess maybe Jeff.
Again, Jeff has just got there, right?
Yeah.
He's had his 1 or 2 big matches. Then what? He's fought Darby Allin. He's already done that match. They've already done that feud. He's already done the feud
What
with the
about
Young
Daniel
Bucks
Bryan?
now. Daniel Bryan, he's a standalone, only for the fact because of his name. You know what I mean? You have a 4 or 5 guys that are in that company. Moxley, okay, fine. John Moxley, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Chris Jericho. Those 4 guys, ex WWE guys, yes, right? But Jericho and Punk are, pretty far removed
Yeah.
from their time in WWE. Fair enough, right?
Yeah. Well, they're removed.
So they had their name to work off of. I'm thinking more Aleister Black and Malachi Black. I'm thinking along the lines of Rusev. I'm thinking along the lines of, it still might be too early, but Keith Lee,
Keith
you
Lee,
know,
yeah.
Isaiah Swerve, Ruby Soho,
Ruby Soho.
Tony Storm, even.
Yeah.
Like there's 7 right there. I'm gonna start with those 7. Right? Christian's taken pretty much the role of a manager, but I'll
Yeah.
put Christian in the group of Jericho and those guys.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting to see who else is going to step up. Rusev has been a disappointment. Ideally, injury,
His stock is definitely plummeting.
injury or not, it sucks for him.
There's only so many spots you can have in a company. You know what I mean? But you're right, though. His stock is plummeting big time here.
Yeah, right. And he came in with a bang. He was supposed to be this thing, and all these guys wanted to leave the WWE because they're not getting TV time. They wanted to leave WWE because they're not getting creative on their side.
The grass isn't always green on the other side, my man.
No,
they're
it's
finding
not.
they're
No,
finding that out, right?
trust me. You and I both know this, man. Life
Yeah.
experience has taught us that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you deal with what you have to deal with. That leads us to, my God, this card's never ending, eh?
Never ending, man.
I guess this would have been the second bathroom break match, in my opinion. American Top Team with Dan Lambert versus Sammy Guevara, Frankie Kazarian, and Ty Conte. Paige VanZant makes her AEW debut in this one.
What do you think?
Washroom break match.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was fun.
I didn't see this match. Did they let Dan Lambert get on the mic and cut a promo or what?
No, Dan Lambert cut a promo before the match, and he sounded solid. I think he was. I'll be honest, man. The Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page are very impressive. I like those 2 guys.
Yeah,
I really do.
good.
And working with Dan Lambert, having them as their mouthpiece, Lambert he's nowhere near a Paul Heyman, but he's probably the best manager on the mic next to Paul Heyman. Their best manager on a mic.
Absolutely. He's the best. Is Dan Lambert the best talker in AEW right now?
I think so.
I think so. He's better than Punk. He's better than Jericho, at least right now.
Well, he's just his cadence, his approach, his emotion, his facial expressions, the way he delivers everything. He delivers it with gusto and
I love it.
A lot. It's not hard to listen to this guy talk, to be honest. I know you're good, and I'm not saying this because of what makes me think someone's good, but if you make me laugh, if a manager, if someone cutting your promo can get an expression or some kind of sound out of me, you're good.
Yeah. I know Paul Heyman's like right now, overall he's been doing it longer than Lambert. He's had some better promos, but I think in the last year, if you want to talk best promo versus best promo, I think Dan's ahead of him right now, just for the last year. Not the body of work. I'm just talking the last year. I think Lambert's as good or better than him right now.
Yeah, no, 100%. I completely agree with you. And I mean, I think, MGF is probably the best guy they have on the stick as a wrestler.
He is. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. And I hope people don't get upset. But if you do, please leave a comment. I think Miz still holds that title in WWE.
Miz gets a lot of hate, unfair hate, man. He's a pretty good worker. He's great on the mic. He's been around a long time. How many years has he been there? 15?
We're getting close to 20 here now, easily, man. And you think about where that guy started. Okay, he took a lot of shit for coming into the company. He started off on Tough Enough, coming in from the Real World, which I never watched.
Never seen it.
One of the early reality shows from MTV. He came onto there, and you know what? This kid has worked his ass off, right? He got kicked out of the locker room for eating chicken, and the guy who kicked him out, unfortunately, is no longer with us.
Who is that? I never heard this one.
You never heard the story?
No.
Okay, so this is my understanding. Correct us if I am wrong. Story time with Bobby Sampson. So the story goes like this. Miz was eating fried chicken apparently in the locker room over someone's bag, and crumbs got in the bag. And one of the locker room guys came up and said to him, "Hey, you know what?
One of the
This is
who?
one of the guys came up to him and said, "Hey, you're not allowed to eat fried chicken in here and crumbs all over the place. I'm kicking you out of the locker room." Mr. Chris Benoit kicked him out. So after he passed away,
Benoit's not a guy you want to mess around with. He's a serious dude.
yeah. So after he passed away, um, Undertaker saw him changing outside in the hallway, and he said, "Okay, kid, you can come back now." Right. So
Wow.
it was the Taker who brought him back in. But if you look at the Mrs. body of work, I mean,
Impressive.
think about it. Have you, outside of maybe one injury, and that we know of, that happened recently, um, the guy's never been hurt.
He's always there, always entertaining.
Always there. He's always working. He's done everything. He's main evented WrestleMania. He won at WrestleMania in the main event against Cena. What is he, a triple time champion across the board now?
Something like that.
Right? Like he's held everything at least 3 times.
It's too bad because they cut Miz and Morrison short. I thought they were money together, man. Their video, the rap video they put out, them coming out together, they were great together. It's too bad.
No. Yeah, speaking of which, he debuted on AEW.
Yeah, seen that.
Johnny Elite.
He's a hell of a worker, man. What a talent.
He's fun, man. Let's hopefully he doesn't get lost in the shuffle there. So back to that match. It was basically, they were just, it was just discombobulated. I mean, if anything, you had 2 heels going, like 2 heel teams fighting against each other.
Yeah.
Right. I think Dan Lambert's crew took more of the fan, the fan favorites in this match.
They did.
Kazarian was pissed off with Conti and Sammy for constantly making out. And those guys are shameless in their makeout sessions, man.
Oh, dude. They don't hold back, that's for sure.
Oh, they really don't. I think this is the first time I actually saw it for myself, like, properly. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I get it. They're dating and everything, so it's easier to do, but have some decorum, man. Like, the tongues in each other's mouth was just something else. Like, I don't even think it was a close-up, but you could see, the intertwining of the snakes kind of a deal. It was just insane. It was nonstop. These guys started off as a couple and everyone loved them, but they have become one of the most hated couples in this company,
Yeah.
It was just insane. And they lost. They lost the match. They basically, the match ends basically with Scorpio defeating Frankie Kazarian with the TKO. And that's a sick move, man.
Cool.
Have you seen that move?
I've seen it. Yeah, I seen it Double Nothing. It's really cool.
What is it? Kazarian was on the apron on the outside of the ring, right?
Yeah.
And he does something where he springboards him back in, and it's almost like an RKO sort of.
Kind of.
As he's flying in the air. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The timing has to be immaculate on that, right? I mean, for that one to work and to make it look so good, Scorpio Sky and Frankie, it shows you how good those 2 really are.
Super talents.
Yeah. They gave them 12 minutes. I think it was a washroom break, like the Jade match was a washroom break.
After 5.5 hours, you need a washroom break and a soda break,
Yeah, no doubt. We go right into Darby Allin versus Kyle O'Reilly, sorry. Pretty snug match here. These guys fight hard. They're snug, very, very hard hitting. These
Brian
guys are
open, right?
Pardon?
I think Daniel Bryan with that knee and knocked him open. Split him open. Daniel Bryan.
No. This is Kyle O'Reilly against.
Sorry. Daniel Bryan. Kyle O'Reilly hit him with the knee and knocked him open. I mean.
Yeah. And so, match for this one, Kyle O'Reilly defeats Darby Allin with a penalty kick and a diving knee drop. So, I know we're not going into full details, guys, but there was just so much here that we had to talk about.
What do you think that was one of the stronger matches on the card?
from a pure talent and wrestling perspective, and I do have a little bias because Kyle is someone we kind of know and we've kind of
From your
met.
hometown, isn't he?
Right, yeah, he's a Delta boy as well, but also running into him at some of the local shows here, you
Mhm.
know, a bit of a homer for me, but it's nice to see him succeeding. He's another guy who left WWE. I hope he does well, but I think him being affiliated with Adam Cole is going to keep him on top.
He's doing good, man, and he's
He's
type
doing
one
great.
type one diabetic, so that's not easy either.
No, he's doing it all, man. So, that was really good. AEW's Women's World Championship match, Thunder Rosa, the champion, versus Serena Deeb. Do you remember her?
No, who is she?
Remember Right to Censor?
Yep.
Remember the girl they shaved the head of in the crowd?
Well, that's her.
That's her.
Okay.
Yeah. Very accomplished. She's considered by many to be one of the best female wrestlers ever. In terms of training, in terms of teaching and everything, Serena Deeb is the shit. So this match was solid because Thunder Rosa is no joke either, man.
No.
She's amazing. She's an amazing worker. I remember watching Thunder Rosa fight in AEW and NWA, the Corgan promotion a few years, about 3-4 years back. So I've been watching her since then.
Yeah.
And and she's an MMA fighter as well. So she's had fights in the cage. She kind of goes back and forth, but right now I really think she's focusing on the wrestling aspect of her career. But this woman's creating a brand on her own. She's doing an amazing work. Um, good
She is.
match.
Yep.
Yeah, solid match,
Oh,
back and forth. Both women got their spots in. Both women worked really, really hard. Can't say enough about it. Thunder won. She keeps her title. I think that's the right call. I don't know what direction they kind of going with her now. I mean, I don't know who's left for her. I mean, her and Britt have had that storied tale, so I don't think Britt's the one to kind of go back now. I don't know where they're gonna go with her, but
next woman up, I guess, give one of the young women a shot.
yeah, but after having two solid programs like this, it's kind of hard. You kind of want to see her keep that momentum, that kind of storyline going,
That's true.
against. So you don't want her to fight an Anna Jay who's just going to shrug it off if she loses,
Yeah.
So
Let's
let's
see what
see.
Khan has up his sleeve.
No, 100%. And
Up
this
his
is
ass sleeve.
this is one of the longer matches of the night. They gave them about 17 minutes for this match.
Yeah.
So, but hey, this match was kind of cool. Anarchy in the Arena match.
Like that one,
The
eh?
Jericho Appreciation Society versus the Blackpool Combat Club. You know who those guys are?
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that match. You like it?
Moxley. You know what? It was fun. It was fun. It was hard to follow. It was everywhere, but I think they did a pretty good job keeping the key components on the camera and on the screen sort of video. That Eddie Kingston is just a fucking crazy bastard.
Kingston?
Oh yeah, he cost him that match. I mean, he literally cost him that match. Um,
When I see a guy like Eddie Kingston out there, I just look at the guy like, I'm not trying to be rude and put the guy down, but man, like, he
say it. Come on.
You know what the guy looks like, the landscape that I see in the apartment building across the street, like he just, I'm not trying to put the guy down, but I just look at the guy, I watch him wrestle, and it's just like, how can this guy be there? I don't get it.
He's a part of that whole crew, man. I mean, he was with all these boys back in the day, right? I mean,
I get it. But it's
I get it as well. It's that perception. I understand, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, his character is just so fucking cuckoo. I'm
Oh,
sorry
yeah,
to say. Jericho was in a crossface. I don't know if it was Moxley who had him in it or it was Daniel Bryan who had him in it. Like, he was about to submit. Match was almost over. So in this particular fight, you could do anything you want to anybody, and the only way you can win is submission or pinfall in the ring.
Yeah.
Right. So some of the highlights, as soon as the match started, Jericho appreciated it was full out. I mean, those dudes all came in from the crowd and they kind of held their positions in the crowd. Jericho Appreciation Society kind of jumped the railings, and there you go. Everyone kind of paired off. And
Speaking of Jericho, how do you think he's still working in his 50s?
Jericho is doing fine, man. He's doing great. I mean, he's looking good, but I don't know. I almost wonder if he's just putting himself in these groups now where he doesn't have to work as much.
I think it's that, and he's also trying to put these guys over, bring them up, kind of like Evolution, with Batista and Orton kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think it's a combination of both.
He's
Smart.
done great. And he's done great. Look what he did for Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
He's able to stand alone. Now he's doing a real stupid storyline that could possibly hurt him. But I mean, he elevated Sammy Guevara.
I got. Yeah.
He elevated Santana and those two.
I got to give Jericho credit because about a year ago he was pretty out of shape. Now that guy looks great.
Yeah, he basically decided to go on a diet, and he looks pretty amazing right now.
It worked.
I think this match was already bloody within the first 2 minutes.
It was all out.
It was all out. There was one spot where Santana and Ortiz did a double ladder spot onto a couple of those guys and just destroyed them right there. So the stupid part of this match was here. Daniel Bryan had him in a crossface or his finisher's label lock, and Kingston, just stumbling to the ring, looking drunk and what have you, with a can of gasoline, right? With a jerry can of gas.
I told you. I think I've seen the guy landscaping at the apartment building. See, he gets cut off work.
Jericho's in the label lock.
Yeah.
And he pours the gasoline all over him and Daniel Bryan. Bryan releases the whole, like, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, Daniel doesn't like him anyways.
Yeah.
Based on the story.
Yeah.
Right? So they kind of got into it and they start fighting and whatnot. So basically the finish here, well, bear with me here. Sorry, man. My notes are on my phone today. Basically the finish here comes with Chris Jericho and Jake Hager defeat Randy Orton with a single leg crab and a rope choke combination. So Moxley had taken the top rope off basically on two corners of the ring. Yeah. And so they basically had him in a leg lock and they choked him out at the same time to get the win. So Daniel stays strong because he never tapped. He passed out. And it makes the Jericho Appreciation Society look good. Pretty good match there. No issues there at all.
Definitely one of the better matches of the night.
No, 100%. All right, let's get through this really quick, man. Triple threat tag team match for the AEW tag team titles. So you got Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, the champions, with Christian Cage against Team Taz, which is Hobbs and
Ricky Starks.
Thank you, versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. 3 big men, 3 little men, your typical match. A lot of high spots, a lot of power moves. Finish basically comes with Jungle Boy defeating Swerve Strickland with an assisted sit-down slam. Right? So let's just call that what it was. AEW World Championship match.
There we go.
Hangman Page versus CM Punk, your number one guy, Chance Michaels. What was your thoughts on this match?
It was a hell of a match. It was the best match on the card. Got to give the guy credit. The thing I didn't like is I thought they should have kept the belt on Page. I don't think Punk needs it. Page is still young. I thought I was surprised to see Punk win. I get why they did it, but I would like to see the belt stay with Page. But hell of a match. They both worked their asses off. What do you think?
Yeah, I know. I thought they worked really hard. They worked really well together. The chemistry was there, and respect to Punk. I mean, the guy can go.
Did you see the crowd booed Punk when he messed up that move there with the knee? Remember? Did you see that?
Yeah. It's a fickle crowd, man.
It is a fickle crowd. I couldn't believe that.
Well, then again, after sitting on your ass for 5.5 hours, the last match, you don't want that. Right? No. You don't expect that.
I think Punk botched that, or I think he was selling it because his knee. He's working his knee. I think he did that on purpose. I don't think.
No, he did it on purpose. It wasn't a botch. It was a part of the storytelling, right?
What is the crowd booing about?
Because they don't probably understand the psychology, or they're drunk, or they're just so fucking tired.
I like to rip on CM Punk if I can, but I can't rip on the guy. Like, it was a good move, was well played. He worked his ass off.
No,
match, best match before, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That knee. The whole thing, the way it all played out, ring psychology at its best.
Absolutely.
Right?
The guy's not stupid. He's not stupid.
We hit him hard and we have our opinions on CM Punk, but at the end of the day, the guy knows how to work.
He delivered.
And he delivered. He knows the psychology. He knows how to make it work, to make it real. I mean, think about it. You get your knee worked over, this and that and whatnot, and then you're going to be able to do some kick-ass move with that knee.
I actually like how he did that. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah. No, for sure. So Punk
wins.
Huh?
You think he needed the belt? Like, what do you think of that?
it was hard to say because I mean, I don't think Paige was getting traction.
There's that point too, yeah. But he's
You
still
know,
young.
I get he's young, but I mean, this is not the first time that he's had the opportunity for this belt,
True.
right? I mean, he was the first one to compete for it against Jericho.
In my personal opinion, like if you give Paige a belt, I would have kept it on him, but I would never have gave Paige the belt in the first place if I was Tony Khan myself. I don't think he's a heavyweight champ. That's just my opinion.
But I think the basis of him getting the belt was the fact that he's been chasing it since he started day
Yeah.
one with AEW. He had the match with Jericho, he didn't win it. Jericho got the strap, which makes sense, right? You want a name. There was no way he was going to win that match.
Yeah.
But they were showcasing him as the future of AEW against the veteran. So the veteran won. I get that. Um, years of ring experience and understanding and the bigger fan base, that made sense. Then he joined up with the Elite, and he and Kenny Omega were a team there for a while, right? And
Yeah.
and then they broke up when there was that, and very similar to what Hangman was doing in this match. Like he had the belt in his hand. Was he going to whack him with it? Was he going to use
Yeah.
it as a foreign object? Very similar to what him and Omega were doing near the end of that match. And Omega beat him there too. So this
So
guy's always been chasing the belt. Everyone's always said that he's the one guy who should be AEW champion. They gave him the strap. He's had several to 8 title defenses of it, but I don't think it was sticking. I don't think.
I don't think I was thinking no. But I don't know if Punk needs the belt, though. I would have gave it to somebody else, but
Yeah, no, I get it, but Punk has name, and maybe they're afraid of Roman.
maybe.
Maybe they
So
fear who the other champions are, and they're not getting the traction like their champions are,
could be. Could be.
right? Like, I
Even
mean,
that rumor that they were trying to say, oh, wait, Goldberg's going to show up in AEW, I knew that was all crap.
well, I don't think Goldberg will show up in AEW. And if he
The
does,
crowd,
then
that kind of crowd will not like Goldberg. They don't like those kind of guys.
yeah,
They're more of an indie crowd.
if there's money to be made, guys like Goldberg and Brock will go where the money is.
No, I'm saying Goldberg would go there, but they're going to boo the hell out of him when he walks out there. The AEW crowd's not into Goldberg and John Cena guys. They're about like CM Punks and more the indie kind of style. Daniel Bryan. They don't like those Goldberg and John Cena for the most part.
Well, like I said, majority of their fan base is the internet wrestling community,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I would say 90% of their fan base is those guys.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to keep them in number 2. They're not going to get past number 2. There's no way they can beat the WWE because the WWE is a global product,
Right. Yeah.
right? I
Worldwide.
mean, when you got 56 million people watching WrestleMania in India alone for both days, 56 million, that's basically all of the population of Canada,
More than that, double almost. Yeah. It's
right?
crazy.
Right? Double the population. Sorry,
Yeah.
like almost double the population of Canada watched that show.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's the difference between WWE and AEW. They both got their markets, they both got their thing. And yeah, they're gonna run some big shows. And you know what? At the end of the day, though, that's why they will never be bigger than the Fed.
No.
That's it.
Totally agree. Well said.
All right. So that being said, we had Monday Night Raw as well. This was the go home show to Hell in a Cell this weekend. Do you want to talk about the show, or should we just talk about Hell in a Cell?
You can give a brief overview of it if you want.
Okay. All right. So the opening has Becky coming out and getting on the mic, and I guess this is the new thing now. They got their one guy or girl coming out to start each show, maybe SmackDown or Raw. And yeah, there's always been a promo, but now I've noticed more so, welcome to Raw and welcome to SmackDown. You're hearing that from that one individual now in every episode. So
Yeah.
I'm noticing that a little bit more. It's kind of like an introduction and a rundown quickly of what to expect tonight. But Becky comes out there and she talks about Asuka and how, yeah, she gave her the title and everything when she retired, but her plan was to come back and beat Asuka and carry on that way. But she didn't realize that Asuka would become selfish and greedy and what have you. Out comes Asuka, who says that you're not ready for me. Her typical splee.
Yeah.
Bianca comes out and says, I owe you, Becky, for what you did last week. And Asuka, you kicked me last week. So there's a little bit of a receipt here for you tonight, which goes into match 1, Asuka versus Bianca Belair. Bianca is fucking strong, man. I'm gonna say that straight off the
Oh
bat.
yeah.
Like a guillotine into a suplex. So Oscar had her in a guillotine, and she stood up with her, still carrying her, and brought it and turned it into a suplex. Like just the power. I get it. It takes two to do moves like that, but one, the person has to be strong.
Oh yeah.
You
Bianca's
know,
probably the strongest female wrestler in the
no,
WWE.
100%, and she's so athletic as well.
She's like the John
Like,
Cena of the women's division. She's
well,
super strong.
100%. But the one thing she has on John Cena, I would say, is her athleticism. I
Hmm.
mean, she's still fast too. She can
Yeah.
move, she can tumble, she can flip, she can spin, she can
Whippy whip and
corkscrew,
bear. Yeah.
huh? All of
Whippy
it,
whip and
right?
bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so Bianca wins,
Hmm.
right? Which is kind of interesting going into a go home show. I don't want to read too much into it, but I do remember as a kid, you could tell a lot by what happens on the go home shows.
Yeah.
Usually the loser of the match has a pretty good spot and a good segment, and ends up losing the title shot the next night.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna do with this, but Becky came in and she destroyed both of them. Right? She leaves the ring standing tall. So I don't know. I think Bianca keeps the title,
I'd assume
and
so, but you never know.
I like to see her and Bliss go. I like to see that be the next program for her.
One day they will tangle.
Right?
They're on a collision course. I don't know if it'll be next, but it's going to come soon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ezekiel and the Mysterios versus the Alpha Academy and Owens. Um, Ezekiel wins again. KO came in and he meant to super kick Ezekiel, but he, unfortunately kicks Shorty Gable there.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel gets the win. Kevin Owens is very visibly upset. He's angry. He's pissed off. It's kind of funny where this is going. But yeah, those two are going to tangle
Yeah, Hell in a
in Hell
Cell.
in a
It'll be all
Cell.
right.
Cordy versus Seth segment, kind of, Cody comes out, he says his piece. Seth comes through the crowd. And this is what I thought was really interesting. Cody basically says, I don't like you, right?
Yeah.
I don't like anything about you. I don't like the fact that you're here. And this was a fun thing that he said. You don't have the right to destroy the throne on, wherever you came from
I like
and to
that.
come back here and try to take the throne. So,
Absolutely.
so to people who aren't familiar, it was either a double or nothing type of pay-per-view, I believe it was, or one of their big pay-per-views in AEW. Cody came out very Triple H-like with the throne and everything, and took the golden sledgehammer and destroyed it. Right? It was a
That was a
part of
shot at
his.
Triple H, man.
Pardon?
I think that was a cheap shot at Triple H when Cody did that.
Whatever the case may be, it was what it was.
And it's too bad
So,
that Triple H has that heart condition because that would be a hell of a program, those two.
well, I mean, if you think about it, the Authority are all at home now,
Yeah.
right? Both even Stephanie took a leave of absence, right? So
Shane's gone too.
yeah. So basically these guys started brawling, just a nice little build up to their Hell in the Cell match, the one Hell in the Cell match that we know of now.
Let's hope that Seth wins.
I think he has to win. I mean, you can't lose 3 times to Cody unless you're going to put the strap on Cody next,
Yeah.
right? But who knows? Let's see what they go. Bliss versus Drew Drop. Bliss wins with the twist of Bliss. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of Alexa Bliss. I love her character so much. I don't know. Like you look at her, she's becoming brighter and brighter. The dark black under eye makeup is going away ever
Fading,
so
yeah.
slightly. It's fading and fading. She still has a doll with her. She's being treated as a baby face, but she has that little smirk and twinkle in her eye where I'm just waiting for her to do something.
It's
So
building.
she can, it's building. Something's building. I hope they do right by her. She's really good for the company.
Yeah.
And, if you're going to keep her on Raw, you got to keep her strong. I think she, in my opinion, should be the next one for Bianca. It's a fresh story. It's pretty fun. I think you could do Oscar and Bianca as well without Becky around. But I mean, as long as Becky's in the picture, if Becky doesn't win, then what do you do with Becky? Right?
Yeah. Hard to say. They'll find
Do
something.
you, right? Do you send her over to SmackDown to challenge Ronda Rousey? But then you know what? Bailey's due back any moment.
She's coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back. She's gonna be off injury soon. She's ready to go. I think they just
Yeah.
haven't pulled the trigger on her. I mean,
Yeah.
Charlotte's due back too now. Congratulations to Charlotte Flair, who got married over the weekend to her boyfriend Andrade El Idolo,
Yeah.
former WWE, now current AEW guy. Champa versus Ali. If Ali wins, he can have a future shot at the US title. Good and bad, typical match. Ali was on the apron. Theory was out on commentary, pulls his legs out under him, hits his face on the apron. Ali wins via disqualification. Theory then proceeds to beat the shit out of him and says, Why wait? Why wait for a title shot? Let's do it now.
Yeah.
So they get in the ring, and Theory basically dominates him, beats Ali. And as Theory's leaving, all proud of himself and whatnot, Adam Pearce comes out and basically tells Theory that Mr. McMahon would like to see you do this in a real match, not a cheap match.
Yeah.
So those two are now set for
So
Hell in the Cell as well.
it'll be a good match.
Yeah, Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Usos. So Shinsuke is still trying to get something going with Roman Reigns. He's not too concerned with the Usos, but he sees his way to Roman going through the Usos. So he has now aligned himself with Riddle. These two go up against the Usos in a tag team contender match. So basically, Riddle wins via DQ when Jimmy used the scooter.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. And basically, after that, we had the contract signing between Bobby Lashley and Omos, which I found interesting to close the show.
It
They
was.
put more of a story together for this. I guess the WrestleMania match happened so fast that they didn't have enough time to build up a story here. But now you could see it over the last two pay-per-views. The story has been developed, and they've done a really good job with it. So it's going to be a handicap match.
Yeah.
MVP and Omos against Bobby Lashley. Contracts are signed. Everything is beautiful. Everything gets thrown out of the ring. Alexander comes in and tries to take out Lashley from behind, but then he destroys him. Omos comes with a chair and he basically I think it was either a drop kick or some form of kick anyways that he got off, and he ended up having Omos go through the table himself,
Yeah.
and which Omos had set up.
If they're going to close the show with that, I guess they're hoping it's going to be a big match. They get a lot of time in Hell in the Cell to have a good match, I'm assuming, if they're going to close the show with it.
Well, they're going to do something with it. But here's the thing. Now I'm looking at the Hell in the Cell matches so far, okay? This is a very raw, heavy pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, they'll probably add a few after SmackDown this Friday.
But considering that Hell in the Cell is only 2 days after SmackDown, right? Roman doesn't have a match.
Yeah.
Your main strap isn't being contested for. Ronda doesn't have a match.
I think they're saving all the big matches for Money in the Bank in Vegas.
I get that. But here's Hell in the Cell as it stands right now. So Cody versus Seth is the official Hell in the Cell match itself.
Yeah.
Triple threat match for the women's championship between Bianca, Asuka, and Becky Lynch. Owens versus Ezekiel. Bobby Lashley versus MVP versus Omos. Liv, Finn, and AJ versus the Judgment Day of Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. And finally, Theory versus Ali for the US title. Like, that card is pretty full.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone is a standalone card.
Maybe TLC, they'll do a little more SmackDown heavy, kind of balance it out. We'll see.
I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, the only guys that are maybe Shinsuke and Riddle will be on here against the Usos for the tag titles, for the unified titles.
Will happen like that. Yeah, I could see that.
Right. So if that's the case, you basically got Shinsuke and the Usos, the only two guys on this pay-per-view so far.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm saying, I think for TLC, they're going to add a little more SmackDown flavor. Roman will probably have a match. That's what I'm thinking they're going to do in Vegas. They're going to go all out here because when WWE goes to Vegas, they go all out.
They do. But this is not in Vegas, though.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. They're going to say.
Oh, I see.
Matches for Vegas, TLC.
It's kind of interesting. They've already moved the venue, so it's supposed to be Allegiant Theater, the Allegiant Stadium for Money in the Bank, but now they moved it to the MGM Garden, which is kind of cool, I guess.
I don't think
Um,
TLC is a big enough pay-per-view for Allegiant.
that was Money in the Bank, bro.
Oh, sorry, Money in the Bank. Yeah, I don't think it's a big enough pay-per-view for
Well,
Allegiant.
I guess it was wishful thinking on their part that they could fill out the stadium or something like
For
that. But I
SummerSlam,
mean,
they did. I was there, but this is not quite as big as SummerSlam. And there's no John Cena on the card. There's no big stars yet. So we'll see
mhm,
what happens.
mhm.
But
All right. Well,
yeah,
that's basically wrestling for the last 2 days, man.
yeah.
A lot to digest. A
Been
lot
heavy,
to
man. That pay-per-view was
digest.
long. Raw is long. It's 8 hours, almost 9 hours right there.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
family function Sunday, so unfortunately I couldn't watch it, but I came home and started watching it. And I think I started watching it at 10:30 at night. And I'm like looking at them like, bloody hell, this thing is like 4.5 hours long.
Yeah, and they dragged it out because of the basketball game, right? They wanted it to finish, then brought their last few big matches at the end. But I mean, just go
Yeah.
against the basketball, do your card, and that's too
That's what
long.
you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's too
Stretching
long.
it out like that is just way too long, man.
Way too
Way
long.
too long.
5.5 hours is too much.
Oh, 6 maybe even.
It's almost 6. Yeah, 5.5 to 6 is crazy. Too
Well,
much.
okay, the pay-per-view itself was over 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay. The preview show, what, an hour?
something
Two
like
hours?
that. Previous show.
Right? I didn't see it either, but it was another hour there. So you got 5.5 hours of of basic wrestling and in one place. That's a lot, man. That's a lot to digest.
It's a lot.
And then throw in 3 hours the following night,
The Raw, yeah.
right? You and I keep saying this, but I'm gonna say it one more time in hopes that someone listens. Please make Raw 2 hours.
They won't, man, because it's a public traded company now, and all the sponsors they want it 3 hours, all the commercials and stuff. But I agree, 2 hours and you can trim some of the fat, right?
So what do you take on AEW getting all these guys at WWE wouldn't they compete? Now they're just like fighting their asses off. Samoa Joe, um,
I,
Christian.
like they're not. I don't mind Samoa Joe and Christian, but at the end of the day, like they've been around a long time. They were never the top stars, the top dogs. So I don't think WWE minds. You want to take them and pay them. You can only pay so many people. You can only have so many
No,
spots on the roster. I'm
yeah, I
fine.
get that, but like, what makes them okay to wrestle in AEW that they can't be medically cleared in the WWE? Is my point.
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure about what's going on with that. It's always, I don't know, maybe different doctors have different opinions on your injury.
Was it AEW is a privately owned company that it can be easier? Do you think there's more legal ramifications of having someone who's not medically cleared because you're a public traded company? I don't know the answer to that. I'm just
I'm not
asking
sure on
out
that
loud,
either. I'm not sure.
right? If anyone knows, let us know. We would love to know.
I don't
Unless,
think Vinny's losing any sleep over Christian and Matt Hardy and Samoa Joe going to AEW, right? It's like, yeah, they're not bad workers, but you can't keep everybody.
no,
Watch.
for sure, for sure. So yeah, we got Hell in a Cell coming up here, so we'll probably come back to everybody with a review show on that on Sunday.
Yeah.
Just a quick hit. So yeah, we're starting something here. We're just gonna call them quick hits. They're not official episodes. There'll be just quick little hits to kind of get the word out and let you guys know what we saw and what you saw, and if you agree with what we all saw, sort of a deal. We did our first quick hit with the Tank versus Rolly fight. So I think it's something we're gonna do a little bit more here and there as we go along, just to get content out to you guys more and more. So, stay tuned for that. This is an official episode, yeah?
It is official in the
Yeah.
books.
All right. So this is episode 2023.
2. Is it 23? Okay, 23.
Yeah. So this is episode 23, guys. Here we are. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, listen, let's wrap this up because I know you need to go sit in front of a TV screen. Your beloved Oilers are into the third round. The more I'm looking at this rematch, I'm going to give you my official prediction here, if I may.
Let's hear it.
Oilers in 6.
Yeah, I was thinking Oilers in 7, but yeah, I'll take 6. I hope
I
you're
think
right.
I think Oilers are going to lose tonight.
It's a tough game tonight in
If
Colorado.
they're gonna lose tonight, they'll come back and rebound, but I think the Oilers will win it in 6. Um, I'm putting everything on McDavid's shoulders here. He's insane.
Best player in the world by far.
Right now, he's probably the best player in the world. I'm not taking anything away from Crosby or Ovechkin, but when I talk about his particular level of skill and just understanding the game, there's only two other guys that he can be considered a part of a conversation with, and that's Lemieux and Gretzky, in my opinion.
Yeah. Every
And
time
I'm
he
not
touches the puck, man, he's exciting. You never know what he's going to do. He takes it end to end so effortlessly. It's
like
beautiful.
every time the guy has the puck and he crosses that blue line, if you're the opposing team, you're always scared that he could score because
Oh,
any
yeah,
shot he can score every time, right?
absolutely.
So
Beautiful.
that's my pick for that series. I think Tampa should have an easy time with the Rangers, but the Rangers aren't a joke.
I was thinking Rangers might pull an upset because Tampa's got to lose eventually. They've been there 2 years in a row. Something's got to give. Maybe the Rangers get a lucky bounce. It's a long shot, but I'm going to take the Rangers. Rangers this
Okay.
time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa because I think that experience counts for something. I
Yeah.
think you can have a subpar or average regular season. I learned long ago in hockey in the NHL, the regular season is just an 82 pregame season for the actual season, which is the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just 82 games to get into the actual season. So as long as you can get in, and a team like Tampa who just turns it up, and now they're a completely different team. They're nothing like they were in February and March.
No, they're definitely more talented than the Rangers. I'm just thinking they've been there 2 years in a row. They haven't lost a series. Maybe the Rangers get a lucky bounce or an injury here, but Tampa's definitely the favorite, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm gonna go with Tampa based on experience and just based on they know how to handle pressure and they know what to do when it counts and the things not to do when it counts, right?
Yeah.
So I think that experience will come in handy for them and really propel them to the finals again. Tampa, Edmonton is what I'm calling,
It'll be absolutely amazing to see, man. Let's
right? I
see.
think it's gonna be fun. Um, and if Edmonton makes it to the finals, I think they'll probably win the cup this year. Because of McDavid alone.
Yeah, well, he's so hard to stop, man. He's just so, and he's so exciting to watch. It's beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I'm glad he's on my team.
Yeah. And I thought Edmonton would have a really shitty time with Colorado, but I mean, based on the last three games that they played near the end of the season, they were very close games. They weren't,
Yeah,
it wasn't nothing to kind of, one so dominant, the other wasn't, right? I mean, what did they do? Split a couple of them
just
at the end?
split it. Yeah. Mike Smith's got to be better though. He can't be letting in those soft goals because Colorado they got a lot of firepower too. So he's got to really play better.
Well, I think this will come down to defense, in my opinion, who has a better blue line. I think
Right.
this also comes down to players like Nassim Kadri.
Oh yeah,
You know,
he's great too.
you're gonna have all your secondary players. You got your McKinnons and you got your Landeskog's and whatnot, and you got your Dreisaitl's and what have you. But I think this is gonna come down to blue lines and secondary scoring, in my opinion.
Yeah, somebody's gonna be the unlikely hero. Who's gonna be the unsung hero for Colorado or for Edmonton? Is it Evander Kane? Who knows? Something's
Well,
gonna
it's kind
happen.
of hard to say right now because so many people have stepped up. I mean, look at Kane. How many hat tricks has he had now? And you look at that other
He didn't score.
defenseman. And who's
Yeah,
that defenseman who's always scoring?
Nurse
Hyman,
Hyman. Yeah,
Hyman.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, so this is actually, there might be a lot of pressure on a guy like Darnell Nurse in this series because that big contract was signed and you really didn't hear too much from him in the Calgary series,
Not really. Just got him.
right?
We got Duncan Keith. So I mean,
Yeah,
veteran knows how to win. So we'll
yeah.
see what happens.
So let's see how it all plays out. But that's my prediction for the next round here in the playoffs. And you're going Edmonton, obviously, and you're going Rangers, right?
Rangers, yeah.
All right. So let's see if these play out. Guys, again, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to us and absorbing us into your ears. I hope that we have a nice little place there set up for us now that we can come every couple times a week and kind of just
Yeah.
fill you with information. Again, like and subscribe, please. You guys, if you go to our Instagram profile now, Samp_Chance, we've added a bio tree there. So if you can't find any of our pages, or if you can't find us on Spotify or Apple or YouTube or TikTok, which nothing's really there yet, but we'll build it up.
Yeah.
All our links are there now, right? So all our links are available for everybody. We try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get to these spots.
Yeah.
So please like and subscribe, and thank you for listening. My name is Bobby Sampson.
And I'm Chance Michaels, and everybody who downloads, listens, subscribes, and shares the podcast, we salute you.
Absolutely. And in the words of the great Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp and Chance. Everybody have a great night. Chance, good luck with your Oilers tonight.
Thank you.